Michael Hussey, the CEO of PQ. Michael, you're an angel-backed 5-year-old company. What does PQ do?
We're a search company focused on indexing the public web around people, basically matching people with all their public web URLs, and we create applications from that.
Wow, that sounds pretty radical. You're re-indexing the web around people.
That's the best phrase we've come up with to describe what we're doing.
And what exactly does that mean? And what's different about a web indexed around people than today's web or yesterday's web?
Well, yesterday's web or today's web, is essentially Google in terms of search and Facebook in terms of social.
So this is the web of links.
This is the web of links. This is personal links that reference you. Who are you on the web, and what's your identity across the entire web, not just on a Facebook or whatever. And it should be noted we only look at the public web. So essentially, our crawlers look at what a Google crawler would look like. Only we organize it around people, where Google organizes around keyword phrases and whatnot. So our most popular application is PQ.com. It's a search engine for people, like a white pages sort of, but where that person exists on the web is what we show. And it's been growing consistently. In the last 30 days, I think we've done 6.3 million visits, and it's growing month over month for the past 18 months, doing very well.
So what does it mean when the web is indexed around people?
What it means is you can say a real person, you for example.
I am a real person.
You're a real person, and you exist on this link, this URL, this URL. We put that all into the Andrew Keen bucket, every link, and then we try to derive some knowledge about who you are based on your public web identity.
So it's a more effective and more sophisticated Google search?
For people, in many respects, yes. One of the reasons we get so much traffic is oftentimes our search makes it easier to find someone on Twitter, on Facebook, than using those sites' searches themselves.
So how does your platform fit into the real-time social web of Twitter and Facebook?
So we are cautiously working into the B2B world. Our first B2B partner is Radian 6, and we're going to be launching on what's called the Insights platform in the coming weeks. It's been in development for a while, and it's ready to go. What that allows people who use Radian 6, and people aren't familiar with Radian 6, it's the leading social analytics tool basically a way to research the real-time web. Companies are paying Radian 6 to tell them who's talking about them on the web. By working with us, we can provide a bit more insight, particularly into the demographics of who's speaking about that brand in real time. And we're very excited about the partnership, and we're also working with some other companies in development, which we can't name yet, but particularly in the social listening space. And there's a real great application of our index in that space.
What about people, perhaps like myself, who don't want to be peeked at?
Well, we do have on the top of every page a privacy pledge. We want to make it clear that we're only looking at the public web. The same pages that Google would index is the same type of pages we can index. We're not looking at any private Facebook data. In fact, we don't want that. That would corrupt our site. So at the same time, everyone has their own preference for privacy, and so we make it extremely easy to opt out of the site if that's your preference. Although today we'll do maybe close to 250,000 visits, we'll probably have 50 people opt out.
Do you agree with Mike Arrington that privacy is dead?
Well, there's a difference between privacy and how can I better describe this? Privacy is changing for sure. There's a way to protect yourself in this world and still maintain and utilize a public web presence and benefit from that. There's a lot of benefits to being active on the web, job hunts, dating and meeting people. And as someone who's actively hiring new people, I wouldn't imagine hiring someone who I can't find out anything about them on the web. I want to know something about that person before I bring them into my office. And that goes for anyone, and that's hiring these days. I can't imagine they wouldn't do a little bit of due diligence. And if the person doesn't exist or isn't easy to find on the web, then you sometimes have to wonder, is there a reason they're hiding something, something to that effect. So,
final question, Michael, very briefly and under a minute. Tell me, what does your company PQ tell us about the way in which the internet is changing? Is it becoming, as Sean Parker said in The Social Network, is it becoming the place we really live now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it says that the way that we act, as the web becomes more personal, the way that we have to act online is essentially the same that we have to act offline, or that we've traditionally acted offline, which means essentially a more respectful place. When you can be anonymous on the web and not have to live with the consequences of being a jerk, then you're much less. You can be much less civil. And when you are who you say you are, like Core, one of the companies that was interviewed today, it's a much more civil discourse on the public web, and I think that's a good thing. And we can help drive that. We intend to help drive the personalization of the web into the future.
Well, thank you very much, and very best of luck with the most interesting company.
Thank you, sir.
So much.
Thank you, sir. All right.